Well, hello there. Welcome. My name is Carrie Varela. I am the founder of the Reiki Healing Society, and today we are sharing a practice together called the Reiki Tree of Life meditation. And so, welcoming all of you who are joining with us in person, and welcoming those of you who are joining with us on the recording. And I also am planning on posting this on my YouTube channel. So welcome to all of you who get to experience this meditation at another time down the road. So I love this whole notion of connecting to the trees and using that connection energetically with Reiki. And there's a couple ways that I can kind of weave them in together, or at least it makes sense for me to weave them together. Um, but really, for me, the Tree of Life meditation is an exploration of the seven chakras. And I bring these two things together with awareness because the chakras come from India and they come from a yogic worldview in particular. They come from tantric yoga, and they're an ancient science that's thousands of years old that, yes, migrated over to Japan. And then in Japan, they more than likely understood the chakras and understood the energy body as it's presented from this worldview. Their own view on the subtle body is different. It is centered around three energy centers in your head, your heart, and your belly. And so a lot of times Reiki and chakras are used synonymously with each other, but I don't think that is appropriate, or it's appropriate at least to acknowledge, right, that these the chakras come from another culture and another place, and that there's a Japanese worldview on the subtle body. So nevertheless, I love the chakras. I've been studying the chakras for so many years through yoga and through different avenues. And I was teaching a series that I did called Chakra Awakening, and it was 6 different yoga practices, all themed around the chakras, like one specific yoga class per each chakra. And I got a chance to film that, and I can leave a link to it in the show notes. But when I was filming this, I had this beautiful vision and realization of the chakras as the tree of life. And so I'll share that with you in the meditation. And it's a way of interlinking our energy body with that of the trees. And, really listening and hearing how our energy body and our chakra map can give us some insight as to how our energy is today, how we're holding our energy, what energy might need to be balanced, what energy centers might need to be balanced, harmonized, the ones that might be overactive or underactive. We'll hopefully tap into that in the meditation and then in the hands-on healing practice portion of our class today. So the general structure of my Reiki healing circles is that we drop into a meditation and then we shift to hands-on healing. And I usually add in some self-reflection questions as well. I'm not sure if I have a ton of them, but maybe I'll share a couple with you as well. So if you have a journal handy and you want to write some notes, you're welcome to do so. So back to this connection with the chakras, trees, and Reiki. In Reiki, the key of Reiki can be translated as the vital energy of our breath, or just breath itself, or vitality itself, particularly represented by the breath. And so that is a more physically oriented energy, the key being more associated with our body and our physical body functionings. But it's that invisible energy, this universal energy of aliveness in every cell of our body. And, looking at that scientifically, of course, we can see there's a connection between oxygen, carbon dioxide, trees take in the carbon dioxide that we exhale and they give us back oxygen. And we take in that oxygen and give back to the trees carbon dioxide. And so for me, trees represent this wonderful, beautiful synergy between nature and us, and that synergistic relationship that we have with the trees and the plants. And it's not just us as humans, of course, all living beings, and that the trees themselves, are associated with the air element and the atmosphere of our earth. And there's also a lot of really beautiful indigenous knowledge about the trees. And I happen to live in Northern California, where the redwoods meet the Pacific Ocean. And in my backyard is these gorgeous redwood trees and redwood forests that are some of the oldest forests in the world. Conservationists were able to save only 5% of old growth redwoods in all of the United States. And so I have the opportunity to see these, the world's largest trees. They're like in my life, and I love them, and they speak to me in a language that I don't really understand, but it just speaks to me in my soul. So the redwood trees, there are a lot of indigenous stories and knowledge about the redwoods. And in particular, the Yurok tribe who live in this area, and they have this area as their ancestral homeland, Northern California. They understand that redwood trees are sacred living beings. And another indigenous culture in the area, the Sinkeyon people, have a long-standing relationship as well with the redwoods. Some people believe that the ancestral homeland and indigenous relationship with these people and the redwoods they were the actually ones who planted the redwoods forests. But this particular tradition, the Sikyon tradition, understands that redwood trees are sacred and that they are a special gift and a reminder of the Creator to human beings, and that the great Creator made everything, including trees of all kinds. But he wanted to leave a special gift for his children. So he took the medicine from each tree, said a prayer, and sang a powerful song, and then mixed it with the blood of their people. And he created a special redwood from this medicine, and he left these big trees as demonstration of his love for his children. And the redwood trees have a lot of power. They're the tallest, they live the longest, and they're the most beautiful trees in the world. And, wherever you live, the trees probably have some sort of magic and mystique to you. If you are here in this recording, you probably already have a beautiful spiritual connection with trees. So this Tree of Life meditation, I hope, will help you deepen your connection to forests and trees, and maybe see yourself through this lens of the chakra, and see yourself through the lens of the trees. And use that in your own practice for healing and self-awareness and self-discovery. Okay, so that was a little bit of an introduction. And thanks for listening to me through that, by giving us this kind of shared knowledge and shared base that we can drop into a practice together. So let's go ahead and do that. I invite you to close your eyes and just take in some deep breaths. So enjoying some of those big, deep breaths, taking in some of your biggest breaths so far of today, and feeling this mindful awareness that the air that you're breathing is cycled through the lungs of the earth and through the bodies of trees. And likewise, when we exhale, we give to the trees and to the atmosphere something that they can take in as nourishment, as energy, as aliveness, as ki. So I invite you to visualize a beautiful tree. And of course, maybe in my mind's eye, I'm thinking of the redwoods because they're really in my brain and in my heart. But maybe there is a special species of tree that speaks to you, have a link or connection to. You're just visualizing a beautiful, vibrant tree in your mind's eye. And maybe you could sit yourself down next to that tree, lean your back up against it, tilt your head up and look up through the leaves up into the sky. Just offering this sense of appreciation and gratitude for this tree and all trees. Just as we shift into connecting to this tree through our chakras, and just acknowledging where chakras come from, the Indian subcontinent, from yoga, and that chakras are seen of, understood as tools for awakening our divine self, our true self. And I think of chakras as a way of understanding ourselves, understanding universal life lessons that we're all, collectively together as humans navigating. And the beautiful thing about energy centers, whether we experience them as scientifically true, just subjectively true, they give us a way with which to interact with our energy body, give us a way with which to understand what is unseen inside of ourselves, yet something that we can feel and touch into with our hearts and with our spiritual awareness. So start to think of your root chakra, Muladhara chakra, visualizing the color red. And on the anatomy of the tree, the root chakra represents the roots of the tree that are buried underground. And so we can think of our own energetic roots, our foundation, our own connection to the earth. And when we're feeling into these roots, thinking for ourselves of how we anchor ourselves into the planet, but also how the planet feeds us and nourishes us with water, with nutrients. How we're setting ourselves up in the right conditions so we can grow. So if you haven't yet, maybe feeling like you have merged with the tree. You're not just leaning your back up against the trunk of the tree, but that you are this gorgeous tree. And that each of us are like little seedlings off of the tree of life. Each of us so unique and whole within ourselves, just like a tree. Not to say that we don't rely upon each other. The roots of most trees connect to each other, they feed each other, they support each other. Just sitting inside of the root chakra, feeling your foundation to the earth. And then feeling ourselves moving up the anatomy of the tree to the sacral chakra, Svadhisthana chakra. So the color of this chakra is orange. And it rests in the bowl of the pelvis. And if we're using this analogy of the tree of life, the sacral chakra is this place where the roots come together and start to form the trunk of the tree. They're where the unconscious parts of our foundation start to be brought up into our conscious awareness. And I actually just love this part of the tree. So in the redwood forest, there's often these big, huge, giant redwoods who have fallen. And so you can see their whole roots and how the roots start to come together, how they're braided together to start to form the trunk of the tree. So think too of those things that are your foundation, things that support you, nourish you, give you the roof over your head, the money in your bank account, the relationships that matter to you, the health and vitality you have in your body. Feel how these things start to come together to form who you are. And then moving upwards, maybe before we depart Svadhisthana chakra, sacral chakra, just taking a breath here, feeling that strength. Yeah, that strength and that the unity of bringing together different threads of who we are, bringing it together into a place of oneness. In the Japanese worldview on the subtle body, this energy center, Svadhisthana chakra, is called the hara, and it is the place that holds our original energy, like who we really are before we were born, before we were incarnated. Just true limitless self. And then just moving up into the Muladhara chakra, solar plexus chakra. The color of this chakra is yellow. And this is a mighty chakra. And I think of it as the trunk of the tree. And in the case of the redwoods that grow up to 300 feet up into the air, that trunk is so mighty, so profound. It also can represent the oneness and the unity of an aligned chakra system. When we are aligned and in balance energetically, soulfully. So here in the solar plexus is this place of power, strength. Think of it as like the work chakra. It's where I hold all of my work stuff. Just taking some deep feeling breaths into your solar plexus. Offering some gratitude to the strength that supports you and sustains you. And moving up to Anahata chakra, heart chakra. The color of this chakra is green. And using this analogy of the tree of life, I like to think of the heart chakra as that place where these branches of the tree start to break off the trunk. So this heart, our heart has this amazing capacity to feel our foundation, our lower self, who we are, our identity, even our ego identity. Yet it holds the strength for us to explore who we really are, different aspects of ourself that get to come out when we have our needs met. And supports and sustains that evolution of our higher consciousness that starts to emerge from the chakras as we go up in vibration. In the Japanese worldview, the heart is often associated with Kannon, a Buddhist deity, a Buddhist icon, and she is often depicted with 1,000 arms. 1,000 arms. Thinking of the heart, these limbs of the tree reaching out in omnidirectional ways. And maybe feeling this sense of appreciation for like the strength of these limbs. You know, they're just like connected to the root or to the trunk, but they're like reaching out into space and like holding so much weight. Like if you held your arm out to the side, how long could you do that? And before you're just like so tired. So there's a strength of the heart as well. And then you feel into the throat chakra, Vishuddha chakra. Color of this chakra is a light blue. And I like to think of the throat chakra as the limbs of the tree reaching out, growing out, moving away from the trunk of the tree, reaching out, that omnidirectional way, reaching out into the infinite. And the throat chakra, very well known for self-expression, communication, speaking your truth. We can think of the throat chakra as giving this identity to the tree, just greater expression of the tree, its uniqueness. Another way of seeing the limbs of this tree is seeing the limbs of the tree as different journeys we've been on in our life. I think of, going to college is like a whole limb. All these things that I learned, this journey that I went on. Becoming a Reiki practitioner, another limb. Just feeling that connection to the throat chakra, expansive energy. Bringing your awareness up into your brow center, Agnya chakra, third eye chakra. Sometimes this chakra is depicted as violet or dark blue. And just to say that this whole notion of a rainbow through the chakras is a Western thing, something that evolved as the chakras were brought to the West. And there were several different types of chakras created prior to Western influence. But this 7 chakra map is the one that's really come out. But third eye chakra, Agnya chakra, is the leaves of the tree. The leaves of the tree reaching up for the light, taking in the light as food, as medicine for the whole tree. Feel the courage and the strength of these trees reaching up into the sky, reaching out. Feeling that sway of wind through the leaves and the limbs. A gentle caress of rainfall. So coming back to the mind, you can think of how well your mind is taking in light. And this is also very Japanese, the third eye chakra, or second diamond, is thought of as this place of light, this connection to the sky and the sun and the moon. Here in our meditation, feel yourself being nourished with light. And the crown chakra, Sahasrara chakra, the 1,000-petaled lotus, not understood to be a chakra in India, rather just this expression of our divinity, connection to all that is. And here is one place where we can find that in our body. This connection to all that is. Using this analogy of the tree of life, the crown chakra is the awareness in every cell of the tree. The aliveness in every cell, from your roots, those baby roots, those tendrils growing in deeper into the earth, all the way up from where the roots come together as the trunk rises up, the limbs reach out, the limbs extend out, the leaves grow from the limbs. The crown surrounds all of that, surrounds this whole tree in light, energy, and spirit. So here in the crown chakra, we begin to recognize who we are as unique individuals, to recognize ourselves as humans living this life, but souls embodied. Here in the crown chakra, we get to be held inside of life. So beautiful. Feel this radiant spiritual light flowing through this tree, this visualization. See yourself as a tree. And there's a joy that we're not trees, right? We're not rooted in one place. We don't live our whole life connected to just one little plot of land. We are humans. We have legs, we move, we dance, but for as much as movement as that we have, there's this anchor, the steadiness of the trees. Trees are sacred beings. You and I are sacred beings. Wherever you are here, I invite you to lay down if you're not already. Not already laying down. You need to just lay down. I'm going to stay seated here just to be with you. And be more present to the recording. But once you find a comfortable spot, I invite you to take your non-dominant hand. So for me, it's my left hand. You're going to take it up over the crown of your head. Just do a Biosin scan. So using your hand to help you detect where Reiki is needed. It's one thing I totally forgot to do. Just really acknowledge Reiki here in our circle, feeling that energy be the mover. Reiki energy sharing with you this blessing of love, light, and healing. It's nothing to do with the words that I speak, but just this guidance, this visual energy you're experiencing here and now. Calling that Reiki in, calling it in to support your highest and greatest good. So maybe there is a chakra that really is speaking to you. As I shared that analogy, just a different way of looking at the chakras. It's one where you could place your hands on that chakra and really give it some love. Invite Reiki to flow through your hands. So when we're offering hands-on healing here, just more of a silent space. You need to just feel held inside of this tree, this visual, bed of Reiki. We'll stay here maybe a couple more minutes and then I'll move to a new hand position. So here, if you know like another place where you're really feeling drawn to energetically, you're welcome to go right there. You can do another Biosin scan, feeling any shifts that may have happened. And then just finding a spot that feels like it just would love some Reiki, placing your hands on that spot. Or maybe you separate your hands and treat two places at once. You can do that as well. Just continuing to stay inside. It's beautiful energy we're sharing together. At how the exact amount, but I think there's something like 200 gallons of water is moving through a giant redwood tree in any given day. Despite their solid form, there is water flowing through the tree, sap and the fluidity in these trees as well. Flexibility, as well as that strength. And so I hope we can see how these chakras and this visualization help us give us a better 3D perspective of our whole self. Welcome to shift to a new hand position if you feel inclined to do that. I'd love to just mention a few words on cultural and spiritual appropriation. When we combine things like Reiki and chakras, there might be some appropriation happening, especially without acknowledgement. So that's why I feel it's so important to acknowledge where the chakras come from, where Reiki comes from, and celebrate that I do think that they go together well. They can come together. And energy is everything and is a lot like water, and that it can take any form you give it. So whether you see the subtle body in 3 diamonds or 7 chakras, or layers of the onion, there's so many analogies of ways of understanding our energy body. Go to shift to a new placement for your hands if you'd like. I could think of this tree as also a little bit of an analogy of our own life's path. Then you can think of our small self as like a little ant crawling on that tree. Maybe it traverses across a limb, it walks across that limb. It might take a year to walk through all of that maze and give light to that whole limb and that whole journey. It's what the mind can do when it's super focused, giving light to all of those little details of our life. And when we're in our big self, bigger sense of self, we feel not just one single limb or one single aspect of the tree, we see it all. See the trees of life, trees of mystery, telling us a story of their own unique journey, their own unique life. And I'd love to leave you with this thought of where your spirit, the spirit of the tree dwells, like a little hollow somewhere inside of the tree, a home for a bear, or an owl, or a family of birds. You can see your spirit, your true self, shining from this hollow in the tree. Maybe you tether that to a certain area of the body, the heart, or somewhere else. In these last 5 minutes or so of our practice, I just invite you to be with your spirit. And that connection to the spirit, soul that you are. feeling your inner connection with all that is. Like I said, I'll just hold the space here a few more minutes and we'll wrap up. Hey friends, well, take a few deep breaths, come back, breathe down into your roots. I hope this analogy, this little journey that we went on together was useful. It's something that you can bring into your Reiki practice that brings you insights and awareness, understanding of different aspects of where you're growing and the journey that you're on. And so it was so wonderful to share this little power hour with you. So thank you so much for being a part of this experience. Before we leave, let's just do a little energetic hygiene. So taking your dominant hand to your non-dominant shoulder, big breath in, swiping down, other side, down the arms. And then another one I learned is just the wrists and hands. So, and once again, thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful day. If you have any questions about the meditation, please, or you want to share your experience with me, feel free to do so. So have a gorgeous day.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you got a lot out of this practice. Before we go, I wanted to make sure you know that you are invited into my monthly Reiki Healing Circle. And these Reiki Healing Circles are an opportunity to receive a guided Reiki practice similar to what you received today that will help you stay relaxed, calm, grounded in your being throughout the month. It'll help you stay inspired by your Reiki practice and to share a Reiki practice in community with other bright, beautiful beings such as yourself. There is a link in the show notes to join us on a monthly basis for the Reiki Practice Circle, and I would absolutely love to see you there in a future practice down the road. Thanks again, and have a gorgeous day. Blessings.